Hello there, it's Deirdre. It's so good to be back. Some of you know I've been traveling, I moved, and so that's why I haven't been doing Facebook Lives. But today I wanted to talk to you about 2 ways to heal because it comes up everywhere, and certainly in this time when it's crazy time out there. There's a lot going on. We have to really stay focused because we can get thrown off very, very easily. So there's 2 ways we can get thrown off our game. And what happens, right? It'll go back to my notes here. We fall into old ways of being. And now this can be a really hard conversation. It certainly has been for some of the people that I've had to talk to recently, is we get so stuck and we get so trapped in the old way of being. And then what are our behaviors? So we do the same old thing, right? We're looking at it this way. There's 2 things we could do. One is we can do the same thing, or we can do something different. Now that sounds so obvious, doesn't it? When we're in the moment. Can you see it here? We can either do something new or we can stay the same. Now the problem is, if we're doing the same thing, we tend to stay in the same kind of reactive loop over and over and over again, right? And who wants that? So this is true with me when I get a reactive cycle. This is true with you, I'm sure. Is we get stuck in the same thing. We do the same thing over and over. And so we have to choose, is this what I want, or do I want something different, right? Do I want more of what I already know, or how do I do this different? But most of the time we don't know how, right? Now when we're in pain, we don't want to continue doing this, but doing it something else is hard and we don't actually know how to do it, right? So to change, to do it differently, we have to do a couple things. One, let's see how I can write this out. We have to acknowledge what's going on, right? We have to acknowledge this isn't working, right? This isn't working right now. Then we have to slow down, and when we're caught in this loop, it's really hard to slow down. I don't know about you, it's certainly hard for me. I have to reel myself back. And then we have to have some guidance. We have to be able to talk to people who have shifted gears, who've done it differently, who are no longer trapped and doing it in a different way. These are people who might be 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Doesn't even have to be that far, but enough ahead that they can show you something different. And then guess what the last one is? We have to practice. And we have to practice, and we have to practice, and we have to practice, and we have to practice over and over and over again. That is what has to happen. Now, one of the great problems is when we're going in this direction. I'll actually give it a different sheet here. When we're in the middle of it, when chaos is hitting, right, and we're in the middle of that, what are the 2 ways we tend to handle things? Okay, you guys can post away and let me know your ways of doing it. We either act out, right? So here we're feeling a lot of something or other. Say we're feeling a lot of anger. And what do we do with that anger? We tend to push it out there. Make you wrong, you're the problem, blame you, judge you, criticize you, reject you in some way, right? It's all about pushing you away out there. And then we also have another way that we do this, is we act in. So we take that anger and we turn it in on ourselves. So all this goes out, back in. And so we start judging ourselves, blaming ourselves, making ourselves wrong. We're the target of that, right? Here the anger is going out. Here the anger goes right back in and attacks. It's a self-attack. So we have to learn how to interrupt that. We have to learn how to harness this energy, really, because that's what it is. It's just a lot of energy. How do you harness that so it doesn't spill out on other people, but it also doesn't affect us negatively, right? So how do we do that, right? Now, we have to slow down, right? I just talked about that. Name it, right? That's the best way. That's a mindfulness practice. And slow down. It's almost as simple as saying, oh my God, I'm so triggered right now, or I'm so upset, or this is so difficult. Take a breath. Hand on my heart. Hand on my face. Just cup myself with kindness. Some way I have to name it instead of having it keep activating, and slow it down. These are two of the very simple ways we can do it. Now, if we can't tolerate it, if we're either acting out or we're acting in, there's something else that happen. Many of us do this, have this great strategy down pat, right? Maybe we deny that we're affected. Maybe we dismiss it and say it's not a big deal. Maybe we reject it. Maybe we avoid whatever the trigger is, avoid the people who are triggering us, avoid the situation, just try to get away from it, right? Or some of us prematurely transcend it. You know, we see this a lot in the spiritual circles where people have used a lot of meditation, yoga, different kind of practices to, to calm themselves, but they're not actually dealing with a problem. So our task is really, how am I going to deal with it? How do I harness my energy instead of acting out, instead of acting in? How do I come here into my own situation, harness that energy, and recognize that my body can actually hold the intensity that's going on? Because think about it. When life is intense, if we slow down and look inside, it's like this, right? Right? In fact, this is one simple practice we can do. Is all that energy inside, let your hands mimic the whatever's going on inside. So say you're like this inside, right? Say you're choppy like this. Try it. See what is going on inside of you. Just take a moment and pause. Notice the experience that you're having. And then let your hands mimic it. Choppy, like this. Sometimes we don't even have words for it, right? So just feel inside, sense it, and let your body have it. And then when you have it, then deliberately move your hands, that energy, into something that's more calm, maybe a little bit more fluid, a little bit more relaxed, and engage your whole body. I find myself just doing that right now. Just, what is it like? Take up space with it, move that energy around, and notice the effect it has on you. It's a very simple way of shifting the energy, of being with the energy. Because what we then want to do, once we've harnessed it and slowed it down, is be able to feel our skin, like this is my body here, right? Feel the edges of my skin and let all that energy inside, all that activation, all that energy actually take up room inside. We think the fear is if I let there be too much going on, it's just going to overwhelm me. But what's generally happening is when we're activated inside, we kind of constrict inside to get away from whatever is activating us. So we pull back, and instead of letting our whole body hold that experience, we're contracted inside. And so what we're trying to do is counterintuitive at that moment, is instead of contracting up, let the body hold that energy, harnessing it inside so that we can actually make choices that we want. And I'll keep talking about this in the next couple of days. But just practice those simple little bits, right? Just, you don't have to take on too much, just small bits. And frankly, right now, so many of us around the world are in activated places in different ways. There's so much going on. Certainly in the US, there's a lot of chaos going on, but it's true certainly all over Europe, where there's all the different lockdowns are happening and there's more crises going on. So you have to choose, how do you want to be with it? Those are the two choices we have, right? We can either do the same thing over and over again, get caught up in the same reactive cycle, or we can practice reeling ourselves up and making a thing. This we can call a choice point. In the becoming safely embodied skills, we call this. This is a choice point, and there are choice points in every moment. We can choose, okay, there I'm going down the same old path. How do I reel myself back and actually choose something different? Do it by acknowledging I'm activated, I'm triggered, this is overwhelming, whatever your words are, and slow down. Maybe use that simple body movement I just showed you. Use your breath. Lengthen the exhale. Find a way to slow down. Creative dissociation is good. Like, get away from something, shift gears. Don't stay trapped in it, because the more we stay trapped in it, the more we are reinforcing this cycle. We need to literally change that cycle. And then get some guidance. Use this if you want. If this feels good and this is right, use this video as a way to get some guidance to do something differently and practice that. And all you need to do is take one thing and practice it. You don't have to have 1,000 things, just one thing. I know that there are people in the Becoming Safe Embodied groups who have just, out of all the things I teach, maybe they've just done one thing, and they've used that one thing so many times that they have changed their situation. So that's what you need to do, is practice. So try this. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try to do a lot more lives, because we are in a state of emergency. There's so much going on. So I want to do whatever I can to help. So let me know how this goes. I want to hear back from you. I want to know what happens inside of you, what your practice is like, so that I can keep fine-tuning it and helping you orient in the way that works better for you, so that you are not getting caught, so that you can choose. Who do I want to be right now? Right? Who do I want to be given this situation that's going on? What's inside of you with other people? Who do you want to be so that you can have a better life experience? That's the whole point. We do not have to stay stuck. I had a great conversation actually with Jody Wigman, who's somebody I've used for consultation for, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years, something, a long time. And we were talking about how crummy things happen. Crummy things happen to you. Crummy things happen to me. They're hard, right? Life is hard. But we get to choose, who do I want to be given this situation? Do I want to be sucked down into it? Or can I step myself back and try doing it something different? Oh, Kat's here. That's so great. Oh, how wonderful, Kat. Diva, how fantastic to see you. You love the hand mimicking. Oh, I love seeing you. That's so great. Gabriella, thank you. I'm so glad you got this. Nice to meet you and have you here. So just a pleasure. Such a total pleasure to all of you. And thank you all. And we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together, one step at a time. So whatever works for you, add it in the chat box, because your wisdom makes a difference to somebody else. You never know. I never know what I'm going through, how I can help you, how that makes a difference to you. So important. Hey, Annette, great to see you here and great to have you. So please, all of you, just share your wisdom, and we're going to get through this and do this together. All right, my loves, I'll talk to you. Bye.